The gift of gratitude. In a quiet village nestled between jagged mountains and a clear flowing river, lived a man named Eli. Despite his humble life, Eli always felt a deep sense of emptiness. His days were filled with routine, but each night, as the sun dipped behind the mountains, he was left with a gnawing question. Why do I feel so incomplete? He had a roof over his head, food to eat, and a small plot of land to tend. Yet something seemed to be missing from his life. He would often sit under the stars, wondering, what is it that I lack? One evening, while watching the soft glow of the moon reflect on the river, he decided to seek help from the village elder, known for his wisdom and connection to the spiritual truths of life. The next morning, Eli made his way to the elder's home. The elder, a serene man with kind eyes, welcomed him in. Eli explained his restless nights, his nagging emptiness. The elder smiled, his eyes twinkling with a depth of understanding. Eli, he began, I believe what you seek is not something that is missing from your life, but something that has always been there. Something you have yet to fully recognize. Eli furrowed his brow. But I have everything I need. What else could there be? The elder gestured for Eli to follow him. They walked down a winding path that led to a quiet spot by the river. The air was crisp, the water gentle in its flow. The elder sat down, motioning for Eli to join him. You see this river? The elder asked, his voice soft. It flows without end, always giving life to the plants, the trees, and even to us. Yet we often pass by without noticing its gift. Eli nodded, gazing at the water as it sparkled under the sun. Yes, but what does that have to do with my emptiness? The elder smiled again. It is not the river that matters, Eli. It's your awareness of it, your gratitude for its presence. You see, gratitude is the key, not just for the grand things, but for the simple, often unnoticed blessings of life. Eli sat quietly, absorbing the elder's words. The elder continued, You have been seeking something to fill the void inside you, but you haven't realized that the fullness you seek is already within you. Gratitude is what will unlock it. The elder then reached into his satchel and pulled out a small, smooth stone. Take this, he said, handing it to Eli. This stone will be your reminder. Every day, as you hold it, think of one thing you are grateful for. It could be the warmth of the sun, the food on your table, or even the people who share your life. Eli took the stone, feeling its cool surface in his hand. And what will happen? He asked. The elder smiled softly. As you practice gratitude, your heart will begin to soften. The emptiness you feel will fade as you recognize the abundance that surrounds you. Gratitude, my dear Eli, is the doorway to peace. Eli returned home from his meeting with the elder, still holding the small stone in his hand. He sat by his window, the evening sun casting a golden hue over his village. As he gazed out at the familiar landscape, the elder's words echoed in his mind. Gratitude is the doorway to peace. That evening, as the world outside his window darkened, Eli decided to try what the elder had suggested. He held the stone tightly, wondering what he could possibly be grateful for. His life seemed so ordinary, so unchanged. But he wanted to trust the elder's wisdom, so he closed his eyes and allowed his thoughts to wander back through his day. First, he remembered the crisp morning air as he walked to the elder's home, the way the cool breeze brushed his face, refreshing and full of promise. Eli hadn't noticed it at the time, But now, in the quiet of the night, he could almost feel it again, the gift of that simple, fresh moment. His lips curled into a small smile. The breeze. Yes, I am grateful for that. Next, he recalled the smell of the bread baking in his kitchen when he returned home that afternoon. The warmth of the oven had filled his small home, bringing with it a sense of comfort. He had been too distracted by his thoughts of emptiness to savor it earlier. But now, as he breathed in deeply, he could almost taste the fresh bread. And the bread. Yes, I am grateful for that. His mind drifted to the riverbank where he had sat with the elder. He remembered the way the sunlight danced on the water, shimmering in gentle ripples. How often had he walked by that river without noticing its beauty? The sound of the water had always been there, soothing and constant. Yet it was only now that he realized how much peace it brought him. And the river? Yes, I am grateful for that. With each memory, Eli's heart grew lighter. He was beginning to understand. Gratitude wasn't about grand gestures or life-changing events. It was about noticing the small, everyday moments that filled his life with quiet beauty. The things he had overlooked, but were always there, waiting for him to see them. As he lay down to sleep that night, the stone still in his hand, Eli felt something he hadn't felt in a long time, a sense of peace. The emptiness that had once gnawed at him had softened, replaced by a warmth that filled him from within. And so, each night Eli held his stone and reflected on the simple gifts of his day. The song of a bird, the laughter of a child, the way the rain sounded against his window. Bit by bit, gratitude transformed his life, not by adding something new, but by opening his eyes to what had always been there. As you lay here tonight, think back on your own day. What are the small moments you can be grateful for? A kind word, the warmth of a cup of tea, or the softness of your pillow beneath your head. Let these thoughts fill your mind as you drift into sleep. Gratitude is the key to peace, and tonight you carry that key within you.